Donald, you're not going to be able to insult your way to the presidency. That's not going to happen.
See, I think you're on the wrong side of this if you're still arguing for a single-payer system.
I don't think you heard me. You're having a hard time tonight.
All right,
First of all, Rand Paul shouldn't even be on this stage. He's number 11. He's got 1% in the polls, and how he got up here, there's far too many people. Anyway, as far as temperament, I never attacked him on his look, and believe me, there's plenty of subject matter right there. That I can tell you.
But Jake,
well, in Wisconsin,
let me finish.
Excuse me.
No, let me talk about
in
this.
Wisconsin, you're losing $2.2 billion right now.
You're using
I
the
would
talking,
do so much better than that.
Mr. Trump, you're using the talking points of the Democrats, and as we all know,
I'm
that
using
failed
facts.
3 times.
When the folks of Iowa found out the true facts of the job that you've done in Wisconsin, all of a sudden you tubed. He was number 1. Now he's number 6 or 7 in the polls. So
I didn't want to.
Excuse me. 1 second.
No.
I didn't want to.
Donald, you cannot take
more energy tonight. I like that. Look,
I was asked the question.
I didn't want.
When he asked Florida to have casino gambling, we said no.
Wrong.
We said no, and that's the simple fact. The simple
don't
fact
make things
is,
up, Jeb. Don't
cut me off.
Come
sir.
on, don't make things
Jake,
up.
can I say something?
I'm
Jeb
on the Reagan
said
side of this.
That they come into our country as an act of love. He's weak on immigration. By the way, in favor of Common Core, which is also a disaster, but weak on immigration, he doesn't get my vote. Carly was at Lucent before that, and Lucent turned out to be a catastrophe also. So I only say this. She can't run any of my companies. That I can tell you.
Ms. Fiorina, I want to give you a chance.
I'm the only person up here that fought against going into Iraq.
Can I make a response to
just
that?
Excuse me 1 second,
Can
Rand,
I
if
make
you
a
don't mind,
response to
Rand.
that?
You know, you are on the list. You do have your 1%. I would like...
That Hillary Clinton is a great negotiator, that she could bring about a better
Your
deal
brother
with Iran.
and your brother's administration gave us Barack Obama because it was such a disaster those last 3 months that Abraham Lincoln couldn't have been elected.
And he did keep us safe.
I don't know. You feel safe right now? I don't feel so safe.
Mayor.
First of all, John got lucky with a thing called fracking, okay? He hit oil. He got lucky with fracking. Believe me, that's why Ohio is doing well. Number 2, this is the man that was a managing general partner at Lehman Brothers when it went down the tubes and almost took every one of us with us, including Ben and myself. He was on the board, and he was a managing general partner. He was so nice. He was such a nice guy. And he said, oh, I'm never going to attack. But then his poll numbers tanked. That's why he's on the end. And he got nasty. So you know what? You can have him.
Okay,
You're lucky in Ohio that you struck oil. That's for one thing.
Let's
built an unbelievable company worth billions and billions of dollars. I don't have to hear from this man. Believe me.
my time.
Why does she keep interrupting everybody?
Yeah.
Boy. Terrible.
Yeah, I'd like...
He would not be the commander-in-chief we need to keep our country safe.
Jeb doesn't really believe I'm unhinged. He said that very simply because he has failed in this campaign. It's been a total disaster. Nobody cares. We need toughness. Honestly, I think Jeb is a very nice person. He's a very nice person, but we need tough people. We need toughness. We need intelligence, and we need tough.
You said in September 30th that ISIS was not a
Am I
not
talking or are you talking, Jeb?
I'm talking right now. I'm talking.
You can go back. You're not talking. You interrupted me,
September 30th,
Jeb. Are you going to
you said
apologize, Jeb? No. So,
little of your
again,
own medicine there.
I know you're trying to build
Bush,
up your energy,
please.
Jeb, but it's not working
one at
very
a time.
well.
Yeah.
Look. With Jeb's attitude, we will never be great again. That I can tell you. We will never be great again.
All right, Hugh.
Look, the simple fact is, if you think this is tough and you're not being treated
this
fairly,
isn't tough and easy.
Imagine what it's going to be like dealing with Putin or dealing with President Xi. This is a tough business to run for president.
I know. You're a tough guy, Jeb.
And we need to have a leader that is principled. You're never going to be president of the United States by insulting your way to the presidency.
Let's see. I'm at 42 and you're at 3. So far I'm doing better.
Doesn't matter.
So far I'm doing better. You know, you started off over here, Jeb. You're moving over further and further. Pretty soon you're going to be off the end.
This doesn't
In Iowa now, as you know, Ted, in the last 3 polls, I'm beating you. So, you know, you shouldn't misrepresent how well you're doing with the polls. And for some reason, Neil, he beats the rest of the field. I already know the Democrats are going to be bringing a suit. You have a big lawsuit over your head while you're running, and if you become the nominee, who the hell knows if you can even serve in office? And you shouldn't have mentioned the polls because I would have been much different.
Why now? Why are you raising this issue now?
Because now he's doing a little bit better. No, I didn't care before. It's true. No, it's true. Hey, look, he never had a chance. Now he's doing better. He's got probably a 4 or 5% chance.
Not a lot of conservatives come out of Manhattan. I'm just saying.
Conservatives actually do come out of Manhattan, including William F. Buckley and others, just so you understand. When the World Trade Center came down, I saw something that no place on earth could have handled more beautifully, more humanely than New York. You had two 110-story buildings come crashing down. I saw them come down. The cleanup started the next day, and it was the most horrific cleanup probably in the history of doing this and in construction. I was down there. And the people in New York fought and fought and fought, and we saw more death and even the smell of death. Nobody understood it, and it was with us for months. And everybody in the world watched, and everybody in the world loved New York and loved New Yorkers. And I have to tell you, that was a very insulting statement that Ted made.
We need someone with a steady hand being president of the United States.
Real quick, Senator.
And we don't need a weak person being president of the United States, okay? Because that's what we'd get if it were I'll tell you what, we don't need that. We don't need that.
When you head back to the airport tonight, go check and see.
Oh, yeah, I'll check for you.
Check it out.
First of all, I respect what Ted just said. But if you noticed, he didn't answer your question.
What Donald Trump did was use eminent domain to try to take the property of an elderly woman on the Strip in Atlantic City.
Jeb wants to be, he wants to be a tough guy. He wants to be a tough guy tonight.
It was to tear down
I didn't take the property.
And 30 seconds,
let me just, he wants to be a tough guy. A lot of times, you'll have, and it doesn't work very well with
How tough is it to take property from an elderly woman?
Let me talk. Quiet.
How tough is it?
A lot of times, that's all of his donors and special interests out there. So, the Keystone Pipeline, do you consider that a private job?
I consider it a public use.
No, let me ask you, Jeb. Do you consider the Keystone Pipeline private? Is it public or private?
It's a public use.
Oh, really? A public use? No, it's a private job.
It's a public use.
It's a private job.
Established by the courts, federal, state courts.
You wouldn't have the Keystone Pipeline that you want so badly without eminent domain.
All right, Jeb.
Let me just tell you this. Jeb is so wrong. Jeb is absolutely so. That's just so you understand. You know what that is? That's Jeb's special interest and lobbyists talking. And Lindsey Graham, who backs him, who had 0 on his polls. So let me just tell you something. We've spent, I only tell the truth, lobbyists.
We're living in dangerous times.
In New Hampshire.
This is a man who insults his way to the nomination.
44 million.
All right, ladies. All right.
Give me a break.
Gentlemen.
It took Jeb Bush, if you remember at the beginning of his announcement, when he announced for president, took him 5 days. He went back. It was a mistake. It wasn't a mistake. Took him 5 days before his people told him what to say. And he ultimately said it was a mistake.
He's had the gall to go after my mother.
The World Trade Center came down
during your brother's reign.
Remember that.
Hold on.
Let me finish this. My mom is the strongest woman I know.
She should
be running. This is not about my family.
And George W. Bush enforced what the international community refused to do. And again, he kept us safe, and I am forever grateful to what he did for this country.
How did he keep us safe when the World Trade Center came down? I lost hundreds of friends. The World Trade Center came down during the reign of George Bush. He kept us safe. That's not safe. That is not safe, Marco.
All right.
I don't often agree with Marco, and I don't often agree with Ted, but I can in this case. The weakest person on the stage by far on